Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for coming back, or welcome if you are new to my channel. In today's video, I'm doing another what sold from last week. I'll share my sales numbers from everything that sold on eBay and Poshmark last week, as well as dive into some highlighted sales to show you guys some things you can look for at your local thrift store to flip online for a profit. Let's dive in. So everything that you see here on this report happened between October 17th through the 23rd. That's a Sunday through a Saturday. In total, I sold 97 items for a gross sales of $3,061.57, making my average sale price $31.56, and based on an average buy cost, my estimated cost of goods for that week, $388. Based on fees, estimated cost of goods, and shipping costs, my estimated net was $1,863.84. On eBay, we sold 58 items. On Poshmark, we sold 39. Gross sales on eBay were just over $2,000 and then just under $1,000 on Poshmark. Diving right into the sales, and probably my favorite sale this week was this Pendleton women's virgin wool robe. If you guys do not know this brand, it's a wonderful brand to pick up. They have a lot of bolo items, mainly known for their wool pieces. And if you find anything Pendleton that is wool paired with plaid, that's usually a higher valued item in Pendleton, so I do love picking up this brand in certain pieces. I've never found a robe by this brand, but because it was a substantial piece, had that tartan red plaid along with the wool, I knew that it would be really profitable. So I did comps on this and everything was selling for very high. This one was in excellent condition. I did not see any flaws. It listed, I believe, the same day that we listed it. We listed this for $89.89 and it did sell for full asking price. Next up is this Ralph Lauren women's sweater. And I just want to say for the duration of this video that you're going to see a lot of brands that maybe you wouldn't normally pick up, but when they're paired with nicer materials during this time of the year, they are worth picking up in sweaters. And it's something I kind of bank on during fall and winter. And you're going to see that in all the sweaters that sold throughout the rest of this video. So just keep that in mind as you're sourcing, that brands that you might not normally pick up, if they have good materials, might be worth looking into and doing a comp on. This was a Ralph Lauren women's ruffle v-neck silk cashmere sweater. And this did have some nice details, bell sleeves and the ruffle neckline. Had this listed for $39.99. It sold on an offer for $35.99. This brand typically does not have a very strong sell-through rate, but in certain materials, in my experience, have done very well, especially in cashmere. So this was even a pretty small size. This was a size extra small. But because it was 100% cashmere and had no holes, I decided to get it. We listed this pretty high. I can't remember where we listed it at. I want to say $65 or best offer. Regardless, we ended up selling it for an offer that I accepted from a buyer for $52. Next up is this Fieldmaster men's vintage corduroy shirt jacket. Last year, shirt jackets, meaning jackets that look like shirts or maybe heavy duty button-up shirts that could be worn as jackets. Those are what a lot of people call shirt jackets. Sometimes they abbreviate it and call it shackets. I still like to put shirt jacket in my title. I think they're going to be very popular again this year because we've already started selling quite a few of them. When they're also paired with a good lining, this one had a Sherpa lining. They do really well, and I've noticed a lot of people are looking for the more vintage rare styles. So again, this brand's called Fieldmaster. I had this listed for $49.93, and it did sell for full asking price. Next is a piece by Free People. This is the line Intimately Free People, which in my experience does pretty good. These are just a pair of waffle knit heathered thermal leggings, and it seems like these have a pretty decent sell-through rate. These were also a size medium, so a decent size for Free People. I think we had these listed for $45 and accepted an offer of $34. This is a great item to look for during this time of the year. This is a Polo by Ralph Lauren men's sweater vest, and grandpa is sometimes a good keyword to use with that. These do a lot better when it's something other than cotton. If it's a wool piece or cashmere, you can get a ton more for it. This one was just 100% cotton, but it still sold very quickly. High sell-through rate for our full asking price, which was $19.95. We've been finding quite a few bolos, in my opinion, in this brand recently, which I'm very happy about. The brand is Rule number 925, and I've mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again just in case you guys missed it. But this brand used to be sold by Abercrombie & Fitch, and it's no longer sold, and so therefore you can't get it anywhere other than reselling. And for that reason, some pieces are very rare. Almost all of the men's pieces do extremely well. The women's pieces I'm a lot more picky on, but the men's pieces sell extremely well for us. This is a pair of 10-inch khaki shorts, and they had the cargo pockets, which again adds value, belted. This is just like a classic Abercrombie look in my opinion, and so I knew it would do well. We found these at the bins. We had them listed for $59.89 and accepted an offer of $50. Here's another brand that I love selling during this time of the year. Again, if you can get it in better materials than just cotton, you can get a lot more for it. This was just 100% cotton, but the brand is LL Bean, and it still does well as far as a sell-through rate goes. You're just not going to see a ton of return on investment for it unless it is paired with a nicer material. But I'm not going to sneeze at $20 because again, it sold very quickly and I can recoup my money pretty quickly. So even cotton ones I would look for at the bins or at a sale where maybe you can get it for $1 or $2. This one we had listed at $19.89. It sold on an offer of $17.90. This is a new brand to me. Nikki actually found this one and said it did really well. The brand is Gramicci, Gramicci, and just by looking at the tag, I definitely would not think that this was a bolo brand. However, it definitely is. It has an extremely high sell-through rate and sells for quite a bit. This one we had listed for $59.89. It did sell for full asking price, and it went on an international sale through the global shipping program. Here is another shirt jacket. This is by the brand Territory Ahead. It had a unique chocolatey kind of greenish brown color, and again had that vintage look, so I decided to pick it up. This brand, in my experience, does well in shirt jackets. We had this listed for $24.99. It sold on an offer for $22.49. Here's another brand that does well in sweaters during this time of the year, and it is Zara. This is Zara Knit. It is just an acrylic blend. So again, if you can find this brand paired with better materials, you'll see a lot bigger profit. But this was just an acrylic blend. It was super oversized, which last year was a big determining factor on getting pieces or not, because oversized sweaters are very trendy. I think it's going to be the same this year. We had this one listed for $24.99. and it did sell for full asking price. We picked this one up at the bins. So again, you know, the lesser desired materials, but in great brands are something we pick up at the bins. And then we'd be willing to pay more up for ones with wool or cashmere or silk or something like that. Another brand we really love picking up at the bins is Knox Rose. I've been talking about this a lot. Very tried and true brand for us right now. Great sell-through rate. This is just a sleeveless high-low velvet top. We had this listed for $19.97 and it sold for full asking price. This is my second time finding this brand, and I believe every time I found it has actually been at the bins. And so if you're not familiar, the brand is Hobo International. I think it's pretty easy to remember, and they make some really great leather pieces, backpacks, handbags, different stuff like that. They look pretty plain. They don't usually have very much detail to them. It's usually just a classic, just solid leather, no print or anything like that. So I think that's why a lot of people pass on it. but great sell-through rate and a pretty decent return on investment depending on what you have. This was just a slouchy hobo shoulder bag. We had this listed at $39.89 and it sold for $35.90. I will probably pick this up every time I find it if it's in decent enough condition. These next two pieces are both Bowden dresses and they sold to the same buyer for a total of $49.78, so about 25 bucks each. And we love Bowden dresses. Even the less desirable ones still sell. They just sell for about 25 bucks. This was just a floral mini dress and a smocked knee-length Bowden dress. We do try and look up the style names of all of the Bowden dresses to make sure that they're not something super rare, but I don't think that these ones were. And again, they sold in a bundle to the same buyer for about $50. Here is another shirt jacket. This is by the brand J. Crew. And I think we probably could have asked more for this. There just wasn't a whole lot of information about this specific jacket, so we listed it where we knew it would sell. This is just a fleece. I mean, it was a pretty thin fleece, but nonetheless, it was a fleece shirt jacket. Pretty cool. I liked the design on this. And again, I think we probably, knowing how quickly it sold, could have listed it for a little bit more, but I would keep your eye out again for shirt jackets in decent brands or ones that just have really great style that are vintage. We listed this for $24.89. It sold almost immediately for $24.89. Moving on to some Poshmark sales. This is an Athleta women's hoodie. I actually have two Athleta pieces that sold on Poshmark. This is a pretty good brand for us, but I started only picking up the leggings typically at the bins unless they are something very special, but the jackets and sweaters and stuff we do still pick up full price, so I just try to look for more substantial pieces in this brand. One good thing about Athleta is that they do have the style number right there, so it's pretty easy to look up and determine whether or not you should be getting it. This was a size XL, which again I think helped to up the value. We listed this for $29 on Poshmark. It sold for full asking price, and it's not a brand that I have given up on yet, but again, we are sticking to the more substantial pieces. Another Athleta piece, again, this is another hoodie sweatshirt kind of thing. Cowl details are really nice and in my opinion add value. Size medium, good size. This sold for $25. Here's another example of brands that we don't normally pick up because they don't have a huge sell-through rate. It's oversaturated, but because of the merino wool paired with it and the zipper details we decided to get, we listed this for $29 and it did sell for full asking price. This is a dress I've been sitting on for a while. It is by the brand Zara. And I picked this up a long time ago because of its value. And again, it has been sitting. This seemed to be one of the more sought after blogger favorite dresses. I listed it very high and was waiting for the right person. It did finally end up selling for $85. Orvis is another great brand to look for in sweaters during this time of the year. And again, this one was paired with cashmere, so it really helped to up the value. We found this one new at tags. The retail value was $98, but this has such a following, it actually sold for $68, which is really good. Typically, you can only get about half of retail value for something new at tags in the resale market, but this was pretty close to retail. And it just shows you the kind of following that an Orvis cashmere sweater would have. This is another Orvis piece, however, it is not paired with a super great material. This is just cotton or polyester, but because of the quilted detail and again that cowl neck is why we decided to pick it up, because it was a more substantial piece with really good factors. This one ended up selling on Poshmark for $34. Here's a piece we have been sitting on for a little bit, but I am glad we picked it up. We're very careful on Madewell pieces these days. However, this one was new with tags, and it was this gorgeous blue pleated skirt. So pretty substantial piece, new with tags, and from what I could tell, this particular piece had a decent following. This ended up selling for $34. Here is another Knox Rose piece. This one is a size extra large and it's a really cool Aztec cardigan. And this one actually sold for $25. We're becoming really surprised by how much we're able to get for this brand. So keep that in mind while you're at the bins or while you're at a sale, because again, it has a really good following, and especially in more substantial pieces like sweaters or dresses, you can definitely ask for more. And last item on this video today is another bolo. This is by the brand Denim and Supply by Ralph Lauren. We love selling this brand, and this brand is well known for their Western looking pieces. So when you can find a super Western or super Aztec piece, can yield very high profits. This one we listed for $59 on Poshmark, and it sold very quickly for full asking price. Alright guys, so that's it for what sold last week. I hope that everybody enjoyed watching. I hope you learned a little something. Drop a comment down below and let me know how your sales are going for you this past week. If you're not already and you would like to be, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below as well as the notification bell. That way you get notified when I make videos like these. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.